I'm Carol Scott, and I have put together this video to make a case for my own personal learning throughout the master's program at Charles Sturt University. This particular video is for EEB 503. Evidence for my learning comes in the form of a series of professional development workshops or sessions that I was part of creating for the staff in my school. As a vice principal, one of my duties was to lead our staff toward the vision of the Lambton-Kent District School Board, our students shaping our world. And this vision is clarified in the strategic plan through one of the belief statements that indicates a commitment to innovation, technology, and modeling 21st century practices. This really resonated with our school and our school improvement team, given we have a one-to-one iPad project. With this direction and the evidence that school staffs with collaborative and goal-setting practices experience increased student achievement, I began to plan staff professional development and activities for the upcoming school year. In keeping with a collaborative workplace environment, I began to work with a group of teacher leaders in the school, and we prepared a session for an upcoming professional development day. The teacher leaders were well respected on staff and had the confidence of the staff, so working with them was a very good experience in a collaborative effort. Because the SAMR model is a model for the integration of technology into instructional practice, we were attempting to model that practice ourselves through the workshop. So we were using a blended learning type of format, and we used Google Drive to create the agenda for the session. The design of the session followed the SAMR model itself, taking the staff through the 4 stages of the model. There were 4 activities that really corresponded to the 4 stages within the SAMR model. The first activity we titled Rethink. Rethink related to the first stage of substitution. The second activity, Learning Within the Walls, related to the second stage, augmentation. The third activity, Learning Beyond the Walls, related to the third stage in SAMR, which was modification, and the fourth stage, Learning Beyond the School, was the last stage, redefinition. All activities focused on the creation of tasks or projects or lessons that teachers could use immediately in their classroom. Throughout the session, the staff was highly engaged, the feedback was positive, there was lots of energy in the room, and initial reflections, I noted the expectations of transfer to the classroom would occur. Some, of course, would occur more rapidly than others, just teachers on different points of their learning spectrum. A later reflection showed that very little, if any, transfer occurred to classroom practice. This is, of course, with the exception of the teachers that were involved in the development of the session. So having that active session, great participation, good for engagement of the staff, led to a really good session. However, we were left with a need for the transfer of the learning that had occurred during the session and the development of the resources to be utilized within the classroom. So in preparation for upcoming professional development sessions for the teaching staff and reviewing current studies, I found a few additional items to consider. Starkey in 2011 concluded that teachers require support in understanding why and how to incorporate 21st century learning competencies into their practice, even when they believe that this is how students learn. Additionally, Sanchez in 2012 found that despite positive teacher attitude toward the use of technology in the classroom, the use remained limited even after teacher training had occurred. So in the study, teachers were prepared to participate in further training because of the belief they had that this would improve student focus and motivation and achievement. Through the study, it was concluded that different methods of teacher training are necessary. And considering this research, I reshaped the professional development sessions that I had been planning and that I had used with the LKCS teachers over the course of the last few years. The plan incorporated initial training followed closely by individualized time with the trainers and also the co-planning and co-delivery of lesson plans with the trainers. Each session was separated by 3 weeks to allow time for the teachers to complete a specific task prior to the next session. And the hope was that this would address the lack of transfer that resulted from the one-time session with the SAMR model. Collaborative planning was again used, tapping into the experience of the DI team from the school board and the vision of the school and the teacher leaders. Once again, we did have full engagement by all teachers in the sessions, and we found that there was a greater dividend in teachers that internalized and then incorporated the strategies into classroom practice beyond the time frame of the professional development. And I attributed this to the multiple sessions, which again we had in the SAMR session, but there was also the active practice in between sessions and the planning and the creation in between sessions. The improvement was what we were hoping for, but I was still hoping that there would be greater improvements in the transfer by teachers from the PD sessions to classroom practice, and I really believe that there's still something in the sessions, in the PD sessions, that we could do to improve this. The teacher readiness and belief in the benefits of technology are positively correlated with technology integration, and providing professional development significantly increases teacher readiness and therefore technology integration. And this was shown by Einen and Lowther in 2010. Because of our one-to-one iPad project, there were many teachers that were ready to move forward and use the device in a more embedded fashion. I guess you could say further along in the SAMR model. However, teacher skill with the device ranged from beginner to expert. I suppose the sessions could have been customized to meet the needs of all teachers, or perhaps we could have offered introductory sessions for some staff to address this issue. So the multiple sessions really seemed to be a key. We had full engagement with all teachers. The active or the action between sessions appeared to be critical in the transfer to classroom instructional practice. So multiple sessions, the action between sessions contributed. We still did have a need. I felt really that we could have more buy-in, more ownership of the learning that was going on. And then obviously that would translate into a greater transfer to instructional practice. To do this, I believe we need ongoing support. We need teachers to have time to work together in a collegial way. We need to have networking. We also need the support of the DI team or others in the board that can help teachers to plan, prepare activities and lessons. The initial data that I've reviewed around integration of technology into instructional practice to support 21st century learning skills is favorable. Because of the initial successes, continued supports are a priority for teachers until the skill and comfort level is such that the gains that they've made become embedded practice. It's quite easy for a teacher just to revert to their own standard practices after a session if they no longer receive supports. Reflective practitioners with time and the desire to grow professionally, to network and collaborate with colleagues are also requirements, I believe, for a pedagogy change to occur. With the most recent professional development sessions we have planned for our school, I further changed that delivery model to build in the development of a shared vision with the staff and opportunities for more significant leadership roles. And this is in line with the Ontario Leadership Framework. The plan that we developed was that general overarching plan was developed with the program department, and it targeted cross-panel literacy and numeracy, and it was over a 2-month period. So we've maintained some of the components of the professional development that have worked in the past, and we're going to add in a new component. The program consultants facilitated the sessions, but it was the teachers that did the review of the data. They determined a specific issue that they wished to address and the specific goals that they wished to address, and they collaboratively devised the plan to achieve those goals. On an initial review of this series of sessions that we've offered to staff, we're not through the 2-month period yet. These sessions are still underway. There are a couple of key items to note. So the participation and the collaboration have both been maintained from previous PD sessions. What we've added to this is the ownership. And to address the ownership piece, we have the staff, again, reviewing data, selecting an issue, and developing the plan to achieve goals that they've set. And this, I believe, is what is going to take the professional development end results to the next level. The group of teachers began to resemble a learning community. And through this process, they were able to support each other, not only during sessions, but afterward as well. They identified issues, they collaboratively solved problems. As I mentioned, we've not completed the 2-month cycle yet, but the progress of the group has exceeded all expectations. At this point, all indications are that maintaining ongoing support through regular meetings, along with teachers determining the issue and the course of action, really have moved this professional development experience further along, and at this point it looks like it will have the most significant impact on instructional practice of any of the delivery models that we've tried so far with staff. Now, I did mention that it really appears that so far this delivery model seems to be the most effective. Through reflection, through additional readings, I've really been able to continue to develop a model that seems to be the most effective model to deliver professional development and have a significant, long-lasting impact on classroom practice. So far is the key words here. This is where I'm at this point in time. This isn't the end. There will be more research, more reading, more sessions, more collaborative work with other educational professionals as we continue down this road to find ways to support teachers and really move instructional practice to benefit student learning and student achievement.